What is up, you plebs? YourTotalWarMaster, and today I would like to talk about a love child idea of mine, and that idea is called Total War Warhammer 40k. Now, if anyone knows me, people know that I am not a big fan of the Total War Warhammer series. I'm not saying it's a bad game, I'm saying that it is not something in particular for me. While on the other hand, I feel like Warhammer 40,000 would be something that would greatly interest me. I feel that it is a fantasy setting that is much more suited for me. I do like that futuristic style. I like the Space Marines because they're my favorite factions and they just look cool and everything. And yeah, basically I just personally feel that I just prefer that setting. I prefer 40,000 over the normal Warhammer. So yeah, today I would like to talk about it. How would I do it? Which factions should be in it? What settings should be in it? And yeah, hopefully you guys will have fun watching this, and yeah, let's go into the video. Also, if you can, make sure to subscribe, like, comment down below, helps the algorithm. I'm getting really close to 1,000 subscribers, and getting to it would be a very, very cool achievement. Let's go. So let's start with the races that would be in this game. So in a Total War Warhammer 40k, basically in the 40k universe we have some main factions, some main races, and then they're kind of divided. So of course the main races or factions would be probably something like Orcs, Space Marines, then we have Imperial Guard, Sisters of Battle, Necrons, Tau Empire, Eldar, Dark Eldar, Chaos, I think I named them all, Tyranids as well. And there are a few more, of course. Before I start talking about too much into this, I am not a total 40k geek. I do not know everything about it. I do not know like every single thing that happened in it, which, you know, I guess kind of makes me a heretic. But still, I do know the basics, and I do thoroughly enjoy everything I read or see about 40k. Anyways, what I would do is similar as in other games. You have one main race. So, for example, we'd have the Space Marines, but they would be separated into different factions. So for example, you know, the Ultramarines, maybe Templars. I don't know if it's possible, but to get Blood Ravens, and I think Blood Ravens are kind of a Dawn of War creation, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But anyways, Blood Angels, stuff like that. And basically they would all have different things. Or maybe we also go into like some are like Adeptus Mechanicus, so that we be more concentrated on having machinery and stuff like that, and dreadnoughts and predators and everything like that. And then again we have orcs. Maybe we have different types of orcs in some way. It's kind of harder. Of course we have, you know, maybe the knobs that would be like very focused on just having big orcs that might not be as that there might not be as many of them. And then we have like the small, you know, the Gretchen ones, and then something in between, I guess, and then also probably something focusing on the machinery from the orcs. And then as well, you know, Imperial Guards, maybe have a regiment of ogres, just know, of ogrins, sorry, that's how it's said. You know, stuff like that. I feel like it could be a very interesting thing that, you know, we have one over idea, so like, you know, the kind of the race, which are, you know, as I said, Imperial Guard, Space Marines, Sisters of Battle, Chaos, Dark Eldar, etc. And we have like, you know, factions, sub-factions from it, which would each focus on one one part of the bigger faction, and that's how they would be in this game. Okay, so I would like to talk about the setting. So where would this actually be? Now, the cool thing about 40k is that actually it's a lot of interplanetarian stuff going on, and we have like, you know, spaceships and stuff like that. So I think this could be actually the first campaign that would actually, for Total War, that would actually, you know, have different planets or different, maybe even like, you know, universes or whatever. So what I would do is something similar as, for example, the Soulstorm. If you know Dawn of War Soulstorm, or, you know, even the Dawn of War 2, for example, you have multiple planets that you can travel in between, and then inside those planets you have, again, other regions. Now, of course, we would need that to be much more, they should be much many regions, because if you look at Soulstorm, I think they're like, I don't know, 4 or 5 regions per planet, and they're like, what, 6 planets. For Dawn of War 2, I think we have like 4 or 5 planets, and then we have, only a few regions on them. So what I would do is, it doesn't matter how many planets we'd have, I would reckon about 4 to 5, and maybe some moons as well. As we have in Soulstorm, we have the Tau moon, and then on those planets we have many regions. I was talking about like 20, 30, 50, depends actually how many planets we have and how big we want to make the map. But I think that is actually really cool, a new concept for the Total War, which was never used before. So, having this interplanetarian system, maybe, and then we can play with resources. If you're like, for example, maybe orcs would have a much harder time traveling from planet to planet than, for example, the Chaos, who can basically just like teleport wherever they fucking want if, the warp storm and everything suits them. And of course, Space Marines and Imperial Guards having their ships and stuff like that. So, that could be also a way. Of course, I'm not saying that orcs cannot move. I know that orcs do have spaceships as well, but since they're kind of known as the stupid and less evolved race, I guess that, that would be just a trait that they have, that it's difficult for them to move through planets and so. So I think that, now talking about which planets actually, it could be made up. It could be like, something new. You could, I guess, go to the Karva system, which was in the Soulstorm. Of course, as I said, it could go even to like the Heresy or the Crusaders, when they were like, doing all this stuff. It's kind of hard to say what setting we would go to. I would probably go with something new that was not done before, just to also add to the whole lore system. Yeah, I think I would go for that. But yeah, it's kind of hard to say. But I think that an interplanetary system would be amazing. Something new to the Total War's, formula. And I would be really excited for that. Okay, now I want to talk about a bit gameplay. Now, I think it would be relatively similar to how Total War Warhammer has it. Basically, that you do actually have hero units. Because I'm not a fan of the hero units, but I do understand them using it in the right context. And Warhammer 1 and 2 and the 3 when it comes, they do have hero units, and actually it makes sense, because they're fantasy and it makes sense. Now what I don't like is just, for example, in Troy or Three Kingdoms, where basically you have this one-man armies who just fucking destroy everyone with no real logic behind them, just because they're supposed to be regular humans. But of course, in a 40k universe, we have those hero units as well. If we look at some, Chaos Lords or maybe even Gabriel Angelos, I'm talking about Dawn of War a lot, because that was my gateway into the 40k universe. Maybe different leaders of, I don't know, the Tau Empire, of Dark Eldar, whatever, Basically, they're leaders. And then you'd also have, like, one unit, I guess, one person unit, whatever, how that's called. Basically, instead of having squads, you just have one thing. Example, Dreadnoughts, Squiggoths, I don't know, some demon princes or from the chaos, what else, like some really big necron monoliths, stuff like that. But then of course you have smaller units. I would say, I don't know, maybe we have, like, for example, a unit of 10 Space Marines, but then we have a unit of 100 guardsmen, and they are like supposed to be, equivalent, just because, guardsmen are known to be those really weak units, but they come in massive hordes because there's just so many of them. Save for orcs, Orcs also do come in massive hordes, while, for example, Space Marines or Tau Empire units, they are normally smaller but more effective. So, again, it would take a similar approach to the Warhammer, where we don't have massive armies of every unit having, I don't know, 200 troops in them, but we have some, of course, that do also have that. But on the other hand, we have dragons that are maybe only one, or we have, I don't know, a squad of predator of, I don't know, 3 Predators or something, or Terminators. We have, I don't know, let's say 5 Terminators in a squad, and they're just, they can actually destroy 100 Guardsmen or something. I'm not talking in exact numbers, but just the gist of the idea of it, I guess. So that's how I would do it. Other gameplay stuff, I guess you could have some special abilities, not to go too overboard with them. You have some, probably healing, some orbital bombardments. I don't know what the orcs could do. They could, like, I don't know, have some warp where they get inspired as heck, and I don't know. Or like maybe Necrons, like, I don't know, special ability where if you press it, all the units that died in the last, I don't know, 5 minutes, they actually resurrect. Okay, that might be a bit overpowered, but something of those ideas, I think that would be just fantastic, and I would actually play this game. So yeah, I think that's how I would do the gameplay. So this is it. This is kind of my idea of what I would do for a Warhammer 40,000. If you want more ideas from me like this, if this video does well, I might actually expand into this or do ideas for other things that I have in mind that Total War game could have. I think it's something that would sell very well for multiple reasons. One reason being that it's relatively similar to Warhammer, so it would attract a similar amount of the similar audience, but also add, because the 40k fans would also join in. So yeah, I think that could be really interesting. I'm not sure. I would of course like that the general stuff that I always cry for. So basically, having the ability to move units by itself on the campaign map, having unlimited build slots, all the stuff that I ramble about all the time in the campaign. But otherwise, the gist would be probably relatively similar to Warhammer 1 and 2 and 3 that is coming out, hopefully with some improvements to the system, hopefully a new engine as well. That would be fantastic, because I think all the things that I just talked about, so unit moving, build slots, stuff like that, are probably tied to the engine, so they cannot be changed. But nevertheless, yeah, that is my love child of an idea. I would like to see a 40k universe Total War. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, hopefully you guys did, make sure to join Attila Barbie with liking, subscribing, and commenting down below. You can join me in Discord, you can join me on Facebook, you can support me on Patreon as well. And yeah, really subscribe, it would really help. I really can't wait to get to 1,000 subscribers. And yeah, till next time, as always, fuck off.